Hey guys, Darren here again from Global Garage. Today we're going to do a really quick controller repair video. This particular one is an Xbox, like an original Xbox Halo Edition controller. It all does work, everything's fine, but as you can see, these thumbsticks here and here are really worn out. So just see if I can get a better zoom on that for you. Yeah, there you go. So they physically spring nicely, but the actual plastic knobs are just a bit worn out. So it's not too big a job at all. We can just swap them out. So let me just, you know what, I might actually put something down under here that's a bit softer. This will do it. Got this rubber sort of mesh matting stuff. There we go. That's a bit nicer. It'll protect the controller when we flip it over. All right, so I've got some spare parts. Let me just get the spare parts. And here they are, just a couple of controller thumbsticks. They're original. Well, they're actually not original. I think they're copies, but they're pretty damn good actually. They feel and look really good. So we're going to put them in. First things first, flip it over and take out the screws. Looks like we've got just a handful of screws. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just Phillips heads. So just use a normal sort of Phillips head screwdriver. Yeah, not too big. And take them out. I'll quickly just do that. Okay, so they're all out, the 6 screws. We've got more hidden screws down in here. So unfortunately we have to punch through here. It's part of the process. Okay, so then we get in there and we take out that final pesky screw in the middle. You know, yes, if this was yours and you didn't want to do that, well, you don't have to. Right, so if this was yours and it was in immaculate condition, you may not want to do that. You might want to peel that sticker off first, but you know, this is well out of warranty and I don't really care. This is not one in mint condition, so let's pull that apart. In fact, probably better to lift it off that way. And this is what we're left with. So we need to get to the underneath side of this, so sort of just got to dismantle it a little bit. It's not too difficult. These are the motorized vibration sort of motors, so they're just little DC motors that are off balance, and that's how it vibrates when they spin. So we'll try and disconnect them. We may or may not have to. I kind of like to in case I damage them. Yeah, I'll just take them off. This particular one's got extremely tiny wires on it. I don't want to damage that, so just taking them off. And let's lift the whole thing out. Okay. Let's turn him over. Right, and these are our joysticks. So what have we got in here? It's pretty cool that these are all micro switched. We'll clean up these contacts while we're here, but these ones are micro switched, which is really nice. So the joystick, let's just have a look. Let's look at the replacement part first and see what's going on. Okay, there's just little square kind of clips, so I think we can just pop that straight off. And we can put the new one on. It's a little bit dirty in there, so I'll probably give that a clean before I go much further. But yeah, actually they're quite dirty, aren't they? I wouldn't completely disassemble this mechanism unless you really have to. It's pretty cool how that works. But yeah, if it's working, just keep it simple. So what I'm going to do to clean that is get some contact cleaner, which is just over here. Yeah, so just some contact cleaner, just aerosol, and I'm just going to it's kind of half effect of blowing something in it, but it's also an electronic cleaner which will evaporate really quickly. So We're going to spray into that on both joysticks. Let's get rid of most of that junk. It's all just dripping on the bench, but that's okay. I'll take that outside and dry it. Just give it a bit of a movement. And you can actually see what looks like junk down in there. Just a bit of hair and stuff. But other than that, it's not too bad. Just give it a really good work around while it's all wet. That'll help to clean up the contacts in there. Yep. Okay, so that's that part done. That's all you really need to do. You can completely disassemble it if you want, but I don't think you really need to. For the contacts here, I think, you know, which correspond to the contacts here. Yeah, they're just they're those ones. So I think all you need to do is just clean them with some isopropyl alcohol, spray it on, and on the pad on the controller side. Get yourself a cotton tip or bud and just give them a good clean. These are just little conductive membranes, a bit of carbon I think it is, so I'm not sure if this surface is conductive. Not really sure what that is. Clean it while we're here, but these ones are definitely conductive. They correspond to those little pads we just cleaned. So you see the stuff coming off? That's what you have to do. This one's actually in pretty good condition, so sometimes you clean these controller pads and they're filthy, so, you know, more so on the older controllers like the Master System and the NES. They've been around for, you know, 30 years, so they're filthy. That's pretty much it for that. I'll just go and let this electronics dry properly. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to take this lid and all these parts out to the laundry and wash them. Just, you know, properly wash them with soap and water, and then we'll come back and reassemble. Okay, so we're back from outside. I've just cleaned up all these shells. They're all looking really nice, and they're all dried off. So let's just reassemble. Let's put it all back together. So I've already dropped in the two little black buttons in there. They just sit right down that side. Then it's a matter of just putting these back in the right order. So the black and white, the black one goes to the outside. So they got little notches on them, so you can't really get them too wrong. It's just the position, you know, physically in which hole matters. But I know the black one goes to the outside, the white one's on the inside, but yeah, you'll see these little notches here, so corresponds to notches in the plastic, which is pretty good. The coloured ones, we've got the green ones on the bottom, I think, like that. The red one is on the outside. Yellow, the Y button, is up top, and the blue one goes there. So just flip that over, make sure that's the correct order. Yellow, blue, green, red. Yes, that is the right order. We can just lay our button membrane on top. Oh, we lost our two black buttons actually. Let's put that back in. They just sit in there. This conductive membrane sits there on those little posts. Just make sure they actually do sit over those posts and doesn't get bunched up. Because if it gets bunched up, it's not going to work properly. So that's all prepared. And then obviously our new joystick covers. Let's put them on. They only go one of two ways, I believe. So you kind of just have to feel that and put them on. Okay, make sure they work. They still click and feel nice, which they do. Right. So this part can be flipped over and dropped in place. on top of all that. You know, we probably didn't need to take off those motors, but yeah, I kind of liked to. This goes up there from memory. Let's put these back on. Just let us clip in. Like that. There you go. That's sitting better. And we'll do the same with this side. It only goes one way. Goes that way. And put the motor back in. This actually might go a certain way based on that rubber. I think I'll put him in that way. Seems to want to sit like that nicely. Yeah, just like that. Okay, as long as I can spin. All right, so then we're pretty much done. So I'll just give you a zoom of that, just so you can see. Yeah, the rubber cord will just sit on the top there. Triggers all still work. You know, you could get under here and clean these out at the same time. I don't think they get too dirty, to be honest. So these ones still works really well, but you could do that. Pretty easy. But yeah, these are all back in place, and that's pretty much it. Our thumbsticks are all pointing through. Everything's still, yep, everything's still in the right spot. Just check that, and then I think you're good to go. Just to put your cover back on. Make sure it all clips down to the right position, and we'll just put our screws back in. So let's go ahead and do that. So that's all put back together. So screws are all in. How does it look? Yeah, it feels awesome. So it's basically brand new. Let's give it a quick test. I've got an Xbox here in front of me. I've got a Halo game, but it's a little bit scratched up, this one. So let's hope it actually plays. All right, let's power this thing on. Probably hear that in the background.